I just put this shirt on. And man, it's been a while since I put on this shirt. It's been like what? Since my last review, I can't remember what review I've done that I had this shirt on. I have to go back, but I know it's been a long while because the shirt is a little bit on the rough side. I'm gonna have to take a shower after this review. But anyway, Appleseed. Yeah, I'm a little rusty right now, so just bear with me. Appleseed ex-machina, which is also called ex-machina, is a sequel to the 2004 Appleseed film that has been directed by Shinji Ikami, but this one is produced by Hong Kong director and producer John Woo. 2 years after the incident at the utopian city Olympus, Dunan and Biarios of the counter-terrorism units ESWAT rescue a group of European unit officials from cyborgs. Duo returns to Olympus, where Biarios is confined to a hospital until he recovers, while Dunan continues ESWAT while she meets a new partner named Terrace, who surprisingly resembles Biarios' human form. Dunan is shocked to see this, but is also aware of what else awaits her in this journey. Watching this continuation of this anime has really pulled me in a lot. I thought this anime was indeed enjoyable. They have improved a lot of things that the original has lacked when it came to the CGI and certain methods of the visuals of the 3D aspects of the anime itself, because man, the anime of the 2004 version of Appleseed was it was very noticeable when it came to the lacking detail of the art style of the anime. But this one, they just took everything that was wrong with the CGI and they fixed it. And I was pulled in a lot when it came to the CGI and just somehow with the beauty aspects of the art style of the anime. They showed a lot of good scenes when it comes to them showing Olympus and just certain aspects of certain things when it comes to just being pulled in of what the anime can do when it comes to the material of you seeing the visuality of what the CGI can be stand for in a DVD version. I only had the DVD version. I didn't buy the Blu-ray version because I felt like if you're gonna judge something, see how it is when it's first released, with its in its true form state of it being released on its first, in its first form of legs. I feel like when you review something, and a lot of critics don't do this. A lot of critics, they review things that's old school, but they review the newer version of it. When they do that, I noticed that certain producers and certain creators of these genres fix things that needed to be addressed. So when you do review it, you can't really point that stuff out because it's been fixed. But I like to catch these animes and these other genres that I review with their pants down. And with Appleseed ex-machina, they had their pants down a lot on this anime. But they have fixed things too. Now I did mention that they did fix the CGI and the anime quality of it, but they also have improved with the combat. Now the combat in this anime was pretty freaking fantastic from start to finish. There was really no dragging moment to this anime at all, especially with the pacing. The pacing on this anime, they lack some dialogue, but just so you can be aware of the continuation of what the anime stands for when it comes to you being familiarized with the characters such as Dunan Newt, Hitomi, Biarios, and newcomers as well. They was more focused on the terminology of the newcomer characters, which I didn't mind that, but if you want to know more about Dunan, Biarios, and Hitomi, you gotta watch the original in my opinion. And I did not mind it at all. If this is a sequel, you need to cut down the dialogue and add more of the continuation of what's ahead of us as these characters continue to grow. Especially Hitomi. Hitomi's character has grown a lot. She has long hair now. And I think they're doing this because they want the characters to look more like the 1988 version of the Appleseed anime, because Hitomi on that anime had long hair as well as the Appleseed in 2004, which is the prequel of the film for the 1988 version. Her hair was short. The action, as I mentioned, was pretty intense. In fact, brutal. Very brutal. Now, when it comes to the 2004 version, the action was there also, but unlike the newest one, the newer one, because they had newer versions, ex-machina, I can tell that the 2004 version didn't really hold its punches when it comes to the action and gore and the depths of the anime. But this one didn't either, honestly, but they toned down a lot of visualities of you seeing things up close and personal. As the 2004 version, they actually show people getting their heads crushed, and a lot of death and destruction. Full-on headshots and everything. But on this version, they wanted to show you that, but they wanted to be a lot brief with it. But it was still acceptable, and it was still gory in my opinion. This movie was very close to being rated R. For a PG-13 movie, they was really pushing the buttons, even when it came to the language. The 2004 version actually lacked the enemy and the plot premise of what the enemy was standing for. But this version had fixed that shit tremendously. I like how they have used certain aspects from the original and from the 2004 version, because 2004 version they focused more of the war of the bioroids and how they felt with the human life, but on the 2004 version they wanted to focus on the humans, of how they focus their vision of how they just did not like bioroids and just how they felt about the bioroids taking over human life. But on this one they wanted to do both of those aspects. They wanted to use bioroids and use humans and have they both similarity vision of just how they live their lives. Like humans felt love and they wanted bioroids to feel love. Hitomi, they didn't really explain much, but she has like a female boner to one of the characters in the movie. I don't want to spoil too much, but it wasn't really a shocker. I was like, you know what? Okay, I kind of saw that coming. But at the same time, they want to show that aspect with the enemies as well. With the main enemy, which I thought was well crafted and well executed in my opinion. They want to show you how vicious the enemy was when it comes to manipulation and what can they stand for of leaving a city in peril. And the city was in very bad tinges. Like there was times where I was looking and the stakes was high. In fact, the enemy had the potential to control bioroids just by a flick of a finger. That's why I was comparing it to the 2004 version, because when the enemy got exposed, they just flicked the switch and all bioroids held loose. But the difference was the main enemy was really a pushover. All that person needed was just the bioroids to just conduct havoc in Olympus. But at that point, that enemy was easy to take down. But on this version, this enemy was no joke. Even after they was able to confront the enemy by itself was tough. I really felt like that Dunin and Biarios and their comrades could have felt in battle, and there was times they almost got killed off. The main plot and premise of the enemy and when it comes to the characters was great in my opinion, especially when it comes to the pacing of how the enemy stands, of what the enemy was intended to do. And I wanted for them to have a trump card of killing off certain main characters and certain people that we liked in the anime as well. Now people may have a problem with that, they want them to have plot armor, but I feel like it's a little bit of a fictionized gesture when it comes to these movies and animes. I want these characters to be realistic when it comes to them being in the heat of battle. I want my characters to be at the brink of death. It makes the anime and it makes what I'm watching more engaging and more realistic in my opinion. You don't be on the edge of your seat if the character is overpowered, but you be on the edge of your seat if the character that you love is fighting an enemy that is a tad bit overpowered than them, or maybe even a lot powerful to the point where they're going to need help. It's no debate. It's common sense. The anime has done good. It has improved a lot from the 2004 version, and I think this anime, in my opinion, is debatably a little bit better than the original. But they have took away some things that I wish they could have put on this one, and they have added some things to it, and that kind of made sense to me on the previous version that I wish they could have taken away. So it's time to talk about some things that was not so good about this anime. Now I talked a lot about Hitomi, but I want to talk about Dunin Newton, about her pacing of her character. Now one thing about Dunin Newton is that she can stand on her own when it comes to her having conflict in battle with partners, and with her being on her own when it comes to her being by the brink of death and by her. I think Dunin Newton is actually, she does better on her own in my opinion. Because when she's on her own, she don't really have to fend for anybody, or she doesn't do reckless decisions. I'm saying that to say this, because Biario's character, they've executed him poorly. And I know people are going to have a problem with this, because they believe that Biarios, he is the knight in shining armor of Dunin Newton. I get that, but compared to the 1988 version, I liked the Biarios on that one, because the Biarios on that one was more subtle. He liked the Dunin Newton, but at the same time, he was a sharper character when it comes to him being in the brink of battle. But on this one, he is reckless, man. He gets hurt a lot on this one, but like by judging of how the premise and the plot of how this movie is, that had to happen. but explain the other ways, explain the other scenarios of when he got hurt on the 2004 version, even coming up to this one. Yeah, from a cyborg that can lift cars and can do a whole lot of cybernetic things when it comes to him using superhuman strength, hopping over buildings and stuff, and just being superhuman. Why is he a glass cannon? I feel like by him being this diabolical cyborg that can just withstand so many hits, I feel like he is reckless when it comes to him being in the heat of battle. And it can be debatable. Doonan can probably be at fault with that. But I feel like it should be a little bit the other way around. She gets hurt a little bit, he takes care of her. He gets hurt a little bit, and she takes care of him. It shouldn't have to be like she takes care of him every single time he falls apart. You know, maybe it can be about his suit. Maybe his suit is a double-edged sword, so he can take, you know, like he can do damage, but he can't take a lot of damage. If that's the case, I have to say that he may need to get some help from Tony Stark, because he probably would have made his suit even more enhanced. Now let's talk about the music. Where's the hardstyle techno music? The hardstyle techno music is not really here on this one. They just got a little bit of techno, but it's not to the point where it pulls you into the action. Now, the action is great. The action is phenomenal. The action will pull you in, but for you to feel that intensity, that feeling of drive, that feeling of motivation, that feeling of just you getting pumped and you just getting ready to just, I'm not saying shoot people, but I'm just saying for you to feel what they're feeling when it comes to the adrenaline and stuff. It's not there. It's not there. They focus more on the Michael Bay intensity music other than just the hardstyle techno vibes to it. I felt like the 2004 version did that tremendously better because it was focused more on the post-apocalyptic cyberpunk action thriller, but they wanted to have more of an electronic sound to it so you can be pulled into the atmosphere. Appleseed ex-machina lacks that, and it's sad because even though this one had good engaging action, but not as much of a gore or horrific element as the original did, this one could have been debatably better if they would have had the hardstyle music also. For a PG-13 movie, I know they was pushing the envelope with the action, but the music wasn't there for me to get pulled in completely, and that's a flaw in my opinion. So by the end of the day, the anime is not bad, but to me, I think this anime is a little bit of a topsy-turvy feel, or a Rubik's Cube in my opinion. They have improved things, they fixed the color of what the anime has lacking in the 2004 version, but you fucked up some colors as well. Same thing with the topsy-turvy. It lifted up, but at the same time you have lowered the expectations of me being entertained completely in this anime. I'm gonna have to give Appleseed ex-machina a B-. It's debatable which one is better. Do I like the 2004 version or do I like this one better? Both of them were better in certain ways, but when it comes to the whole package of which anime movie was better in all aspects, I don't know honestly. And I think that's the reason why it has continued more, because we have Appleseed Tartarus or the other one that they had, and then they also have Appleseed Alpha, which I've seen recently that was pretty good, but I have to watch it again just so I can get my review standards up. I like to watch things twice. One from an audience standpoint and two from a critic standpoint. Think of it as a double check in my gesture. Well, that's all I have to say for today. Please stay tuned for more of my upcoming reviews and anime videos. Hit it your way. I keep looking at this shirt. This is not an anime shirt. This is a cartoon. This is a cartoon shirt. But I like it. It has like that Avengers feel to it. But you guys take it easy. I hope you guys enjoyed the review, and stay tuned for more reviews and videos hit it y'all guys' way.